I remember watching the game. I was in New Zealand, and you guys were down. I think it was 21 at half or something like that. And I watched that whole second half, bit by bit, shot by shot, turnover by turnover that Virginia had. What was going on in the huddle, man? Like during those moments when it was getting real crucial.
You know, it was like this weird thing. So we were down, whatever you said, 21 at half or whatever it was. I remember going in the locker room. Everyone's kind of feeling a little bit deflated at that point, but like the big thing throughout the season for us was always like my thing was always looking at Mike Benajay and Trevor. You know, like I'm a freshman, those are the senior leaders, all that stuff. So I was watching those guys, and like even though you were feeling a little bit deflated, you would look at them and they were like ready to go. You know, like Trevor's in there in the locker room, amping guys up, all that stuff. And the big thing was Coach came into the locker room, and you know, sometimes you're expecting him to just blow up, you know what I mean? And like get you fired up that way. And so I'm expecting him to come in and get us fired up sort of thing. But it was almost like the complete opposite. He came in super calm. It was like he gave a speech basically along the lines of like, listen, we had an unbelievable run so far. You know, there's nothing you can do to let Syracuse down, yourselves down, this and that. So we might as well go out and just give everything you got. And, like, he said it just like that, cool, calm, collected. And, like, I think everybody at that point just kind of looked around the room and was like, all right, like, he's right. You know, what's there to lose? So we go out and obviously, you know, we created a bunch of turnovers, got back in the game. Malachi, his second half was a legendary second half of, you know, one of the best second half performances or individual game performances, maybe all time. I don't know. You could throw all those different things out there, but
absolutely,
he was a huge part in all that. But yeah, I think the big thing for myself and from looking at the other guys was just the little talk that Coach gave us at halftime and like the pivot that kind of gave us in momentum. But yeah, we came out in the press in the last 6 or 7 minutes there, and when we were down, we cut it to like 10 or 12, and Coach kind of told us to turn it up, and we put on a press, and the rest was history.
So that was the Elite Eight, and then you guys played North Carolina, right? So you played Gonzaga before that game, correct?
Yeah, that was when I had the block at like the last second, whatever.
So yeah, let's and the shoe was in the same game, right?
Shoe was in UVA. Block was in Gonzaga, yeah.
So we'll keep it at UVA real quick. Talk about the shoe real quick, and then we'll rewind it and go to the block. Talk about that. You losing your shoe. What's going on?
So the play happens, right? Benajay calls me up to set a screen, and the defender, I think it was whoever's guarding him or me, one or the other, steps on like my heel, and I felt my shoe pop out, right? So I like casually just kick it off. And at the time, I didn't realize, like, when I did it, I didn't realize that there was only like 10 seconds on the shot clock, right? Because like a lot of times, you know, you're a point guard, you call up a screener, late shot clock, you want to get some space, all that stuff. So he calls me up. And it must have just slipped my mind. I didn't even realize it. There was like 10 seconds left, so I run up, shoe pops off. And then finally when I caught the ball, and I was not expecting him to pass it, like he himself in the video, you watch him pick up my shoe, throw it off. So I'm like, there's no way this dude's giving me the ball. So I was just standing there, right? I'm like, he's going to go get a shot. And he passes it out to me, and I remember I like pump fake. I look at the shot clock real quick. I saw there was like 4 seconds left. And at that point, I got to be the one to shoot it. Otherwise, it's going to be a turnover, and it's just going to be bad possession. So just pump fake, hoping the guy bites on it. He did, and I knocked it down. But it was one of those things, like, everyone was like, why'd you do that? Why'd you do that? And I was like, you don't ever think, like, your shoe's off in the game. You know, you're still playing. It is what it is.
And that was a part of, like, it was second half, right?
That was like the beginning or the late first half, if I remember correctly. But like that was the point. There was a point in the game, even in the first half, where we were like down 15, and then we came back a little bit in the first half. Things started to get carried away. I hit that, and then we cut it down a little bit more. But that whole game was just a Cinderella story. It was crazy.
So that play kind of going into half, it kind of toned it down a little bit for them. You know what I mean?
I would think a little bit, right? If I was the team playing someone that just hit a three with their shoe off, you know, it's like at the same time you feel comfortable because you're up, but you're like you kind of look around, you know what I mean? That shouldn't be happening.
No question. Like those type of plays are plays that carry over, right? Like, and then it started a fire under the team. Like, damn, okay, like we got something going on right here.
Absolutely.
Like, let's keep it rolling.
And for me, like I was always the type of guy, I just need to see shots go in.
Yeah.
So even like shoe on, shoe off, whatever it was, if I saw a shot go in, I started to feel better and better and better, you know? So I think even for myself to hit that 1-3 with my shoe off, right? I happened to get lucky, make it with my shoe off, and it was a bigger deal than it was. But when you break it down, I was like, all right, it felt good to just watch the ball go in. Because I was having a slow first half. I came out, I hit a couple bigger shots in the second half and some better plays defensively and stuff. But like those little minute plays really can change and alter the game for an individual and the team.
I mean, you were so great in the middle of that zone, just because, you know, the zone is based on, can that middleman move? Can he be active? Can he cover space? When it goes to the high post, can you defend that one-on-one? Right. You know, can you take away the passes? And you were one of the best at that. Let's rewind it to Gonzaga. Take me through that whole situation about the block, because it was late game.
Yeah.
You get the block that goes to the high post. Take me through the whole situation.
So we knew we kind of had a couple ideas. We thought that they were going to get the ball to Kyle Wilcher, right? Like he was their big time player. They had some bonus on that team, so they had a couple guys, Perkins, right? And we really felt like their go-to in that time was get the ball to Wilcher. So we did a great job denying him the ball. We didn't allow them him to really see a shot that he felt comfortable with. And then it was a really quick play, but, you know, Perkins got it back around the top of the key area, and he just attacked the middle of our paint because Benajay and Trev were spread out, right? Like they were guarding the three-point shooters, so the game didn't get one on a buzzer beater three or whatever.
Right.
So they were spread out, and we knew Perkins probably wasn't going to shoot a three. So he then becomes a driver. And at that point, you know, coach he didn't break it down like that, but he was just saying, let's play straight up, straight down, no fouls, none of that stuff. And Perkins drove the ball. And once he went up again, it was one of those things for me that was just more of an instinctual thing. You know, like I didn't think about the next play. I didn't think about anything to do with fouling, none of that. I felt like it was the right thing to do was to get a hand up and try to contest the shot. And then I realized, oh shit, I was a little bit closer than I thought, and I ended up getting a piece of it. So it ended up being a really good play. But you know, everybody else on the team did a great job from a personnel standpoint and paying attention in that timeout to know what we were going to do.
Man, your freshman year, you know, you have a hell of a run in the beginning of the season. Like you said, it was some ups and downs, and then you get into the tournament. And you had some special moments, bro. Like for a freshman, like shoe off, block, come back Virginia. Like for your first year, that's pretty special to have. Like a lot of people don't have those in their whole career, right?
Yeah. Dude, that's what it's funny. It was even brought up, and like when you asked me to do the podcast the other day, I was kind of like thinking about some of the stuff we were talking about, and it's funny that it even happened. But like I literally was just having this conversation with my older brother and my parents the other night. Like we were just sitting around randomly, casually one night, watching some basketball, whatever, and we were hanging out and enjoying it, whatever. And you know, they started to ask some of the details of like, you know, what do you really feel? Because I never really talk about this with anybody. Because to me, it's just like, it felt like it just was any other day. You know, like that was supposed to happen in my mind. Like I believed it all. I felt like it was going to happen at some point. And so like we were just sitting around, we're talking about it, and like it really felt like a dream. Like when I don't know, in my heart of hearts, when I look back and I feel like I'm envisioning everything that happened, it really felt like a dream. That was the craziest first year as a freshman. And like you said, guys play for, you know, 4 or 5, sometimes 5 years, and they don't even come close to a season like that ever. You know, and I got that all in my first year. So it was, for me, it was the craziest thing. You know, it was almost like every basketball dream you hope you had all came down to one season and was like right then and there. The only thing better obviously would have been to win the Final Four and win a championship. But like I was that close in my 1 year to completing that stuff, you know? So it was crazy.